Anyways, Joe's listening in New York and says, Rod, you're not old, you're vintage. Keep the references coming. I'll take that.
Fine wine.
Yeah.
Smiling Rider fan writing us on the Twitter feed, the Capital Auto Mall Twitter feed. She says Big Bang Theory did have a sports show where they all watched the Super Bowl. So I was not as big a fan of that particular program.
A lot of people were, though.
Which just ended. A lot of people were, yes. Yeah. They just had their final episode a couple weeks ago. I thought they went off the air three years ago.
I didn't realize for many, many years that their theme song was written and performed by the Bare Naked Ladies.
That one I did know.
Yeah.
To sports, just a thing on the Gainer. It's still trending across the country. It's still trending. So Arash Madani, who's a very good and longtime friend of all of us, is laughing. He's one of many Easterners laughing that this is front page news. Well, I'll tell you what. Toronto, you made front page news when 3 people got shot at the Raptors parade. So I'll take this news. Okay? Don't laugh at us. We're not the problem. You are. So there's that.
He gets it, though. He understands.
I'm not saying Arash is the problem. I'm saying if other centers are going to laugh at us because front page news is the mascot of our local football team, I'm down with it. I'm fine. Rather than what your news is. Okay? So cool it. Now, secondly, Tank Abbott's listening down in Estevan this morning. If you know Tank.
I don't think I do know
the
Tank
sixth
Abbott.
most listened to city for the Rod Pedersen Show, Estevan, Saskatchewan. He did a drawing and said if you black out Gainer's eyes, he looks normal. So,
and honestly, when you look at that, I believe you retweeted it or at least replied to it or commented on it on Twitter so they could just look you up, Rod Pedersen. It looks way less creepy. It's the eyes that's killing the outfit. Yes. They're just too much. It's too much to have a rodent with green eyes. Like that literally is nightmare fuel.
You can see the whites of his eyes. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Wasn't it? Like at what point, and again, what point are you sitting around, you get the new costume or the new outfit in there, and everybody's sitting around the boardroom and go, man, does this look good?
I know.
Didn't somebody in that room go, oh, maybe this isn't great?
This has been called a massive fumble by some sectors of the sports marketing fraternity.
Intended.
Pun intended, of course. But I don't think it's going to change. As a matter of fact, the 18% of poll respondents that are saying they're liking it, or some are saying it's growing on me, maybe the riders are sitting back and just saying, hey, people don't like change. They'll get over it. Maybe that's what they're saying.
I will say this. At least the riders have been committed to it because they kept tweeting stuff from Gainer, looking at next week like this, or
covering my tracks here.
Yeah, and all these things. And then if you went and clicked on and read all the replies that people were responding to it, oh my goodness, it was Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin wrapped up into one. It was pure comedy reading the feed afterwards. But they kept trying to push it. They are standing by it.
Yes, they are. They're not backing down. So what we love about mid-morning sports talk is the topics that come up. Farhan Lalji tweeting today that Bo Levi Mitchell's results of his MRI conclusive to the degree that they don't know when he's going to be back, if I read that correctly. So we can talk about that.
It sounds like he's seeking a second opinion.
Right, and what does that mean for this Saturday's game? And the very first thing I thought when I opened up my Twitter this morning, first thing I saw was a tweet from CBC's Devin Aru saying, is today Kawhi Day? And I get what they're going through in Toronto. We get it. Yeah. We know when Weston Dressler was a free agent and Andy Fantuz was a free agent. Our version of big-time sports, they're just ringing with, anxiety there in Toronto. Any Raptors fan about it's not a good feeling.
No.
It wears on you, waiting for this guy to make a decision.
I did hear good news today, and I know I've heard reports, and you see them. The longer this goes on, the more likely Kawhi is to sign with the Lakers, and with Magic Johnson joining their pitch and things like that, and the Clippers being involved, and those being the two, right? The Lakers or the Clippers. He's going to go to LA somewhere, and you didn't even hear about the Raptors being involved at all. And I saw last night that. yes, the Lakers and Clippers there, but he's meeting with the Raptors today.
He's meeting with them last.
He's meeting with them last.
Right.
So people, that was the report. They got obviously to meet with him first because they had him all year, and they were going to meet with him last.
Yeah.
And you kind of didn't hear about that anymore. And I kind of started thinking that, well, maybe he's not meeting with the Raptors anymore. He's just ruled them out. But no, he's still meeting with the Raptors today. And that's a good thing because Masai Ujiri is a master at selling his program and selling the city. So there is a sliver of hope for people in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm like anybody else. And like most of the reporters, one of my favorite guys is Ryan Russillo, who's followed the league for a long time. And he's like, if anybody tells you that they have an inkling or they have some inside info on where Kawhi's going, they're lying. He's like, nobody knows except for this guy. He's the only one that knows he's going to make this decision. You try and put yourself in a guy's shoes like that, which is impossible because his contract is going to be, 35, 40 million a season. But, where does he want to end up? What is his motivation? And you look at a guy like LeBron James, his motivation was to play for the Lakers, one of the most iconic franchises. You're in Hollywood. He has other business adventures. I just see a lot of things working against Toronto in this aspect, and it's not a slam.
He's a Southern California guy.
Yeah, and how do you set yourself up post career? We always talk about people coming to Saskatchewan to play for the Riders. You mean you can write your ticket post career? I mean, Ricky Foley's coming on here again. You don't think? I think you did a dinner this year with Ricky Foley. He was probably beloved wherever that dinner was.
Oh yeah, Sedley.
He only spent a few years out here, wins a Grey Cup, but if you have a bit of a personality, you know how to market yourself a little bit, the Riders are the place to go. And I got to think that some of these NBA players think that LA would certainly be something like that as well.
Yeah, the thing about it, too, is the safe move for Kawhi is to leave. And, yeah, they love him here, but what else can you possibly accomplish? You win multiple championships, sure, but you've already won a championship in a country that's never won a championship.
Yeah, going on top. Like
you leave, nobody's going to be sad that you're going home or you're going to go and take a big contract with LA, so you're still going to be a legend in Toronto. There's no negative to leaving if that's the case. You stay and you drop off and you never win again, then maybe you lose a little bit of that goodwill, but he's in a good spot.
Well, I was doing some reading this morning, and that interview with Arash yesterday on this show was very revealing with regards to what players weigh in decisions like this. Taxes, obviously the country when you're talking about the Blue Jays, Raptors, and Maple Leafs. Family, I would hope would be number one. But this morning, Darren, I get an email from Inc.com. Do you ever read Inc.com? Every morning I get an email. And it was on Kevin Durant's decision to go to the New Jersey Nets. It had nothing to do with taxes or home or anything like that, and everything to do with to play with Kyrie Irving and the guys on the Nets. And the whole concept, how they related it to business, was when you're going to work with your friends and you're happy going to work every day with good people and people you want to hang out with, life becomes a heck of a lot easier to deal with.
And more importantly, they like you.
And they like you. I'm like, wow, bingo, ta-da, the hallelujah thing, right? Just like coming here every day. It is awesome. It's so much fun.
Money is great, but it's it's been proven. There's been studies that money doesn't motivate people. And you could say, well, if I had more money, right? And money doesn't motivate people. You have to have autonomy. You have to feel invested. You have to feel like you have some responsibility, that you have a part of that. You want something to grow, and you have to be happy with the people you're with. And, money is not a motivator. It doesn't make you happy. Yeah, if you don't have money, there are things that money can afford you. But I hear this all the time when it comes to money. I really do. I hear it when it comes to people saying, well, he's making $10 million. If I was making $1 million, I'd be happy. I would take $1 million. Forget about it. I'd take $1 million and I'll be good and I'd be really happy. Would you? Because once you join the Millionaires Club, now you're the poorest millionaire and you're the worst of the Millionaires Club. So now you need $10 million and you need $1 billion. And then you join the Billionaires Club, but you're the worst of the billionaires now, and nothing's ever good enough.
Well, I think it becomes a question of value. What is my value within the market? What is this player's value within the market? Could Kawhi Leonard probably get by on $15 million a year? Sure, he could, but is he getting the value? And I think all of us have gone through this at places at work. You want to feel like you are valued, and companies could show you value in different ways. The most obvious is money. That's the easiest. They could show you value in making sure that you're getting away and getting an extra week's holidays. That is another way to show value. But when it comes to these guys, a lot of the value that they get shown is the amount of money. So to say, wow, I could get up there, I could get out there and I could punt the ball half as good for $50,000. Yeah, but that's not how it works. That's not how the system is set up. It's all about having your value within the structure of whatever system.
Well, your market value is what somebody's willing to pay,
yes.
Right? By the way, we've created a monster on the Prairie Mobile text line.
Uh-oh.
Like, you know yourself, Darren, it's all about habit forming. It's all about, what the listeners are comfortable with.
Yeah.
So yesterday when I said Prairie Mobile text line, 840-8777, there was no text messages. Today, full, packed. I just showed them the phone. I think people got mistaken here because everybody's writing in with their favorite sitcom.
Good.
Did we ask that?
Well, we talked about it.
Favorite sitcom, Friends. Favorite sitcom, Three's Company. Favorite sitcom, How I Met Your Mother.
Ooh, I like that one.
Listening from Calgary, Alberta. See, that's what everybody...
2.5.
Here it is. Facebook Live down. Who's calling me? This is my phone.
What kind of...
Everything's happening!
Where's the secretary? Do we got to take that?
Why do you select that ring?
Because I like church bells. It makes me feel good. You ever been to a church?
I was married once.
On the person from Calgary that says, How I Met Your Mother, says there's a certain irony to Facebook using Twitter to talk about their worldwide outage. Did you know Facebook went to Twitter to say, sorry, folks, Facebook's down?
Because the problem is they can't upload anything.
Right, but he says that's kind of like CKRM calling into John Gormley to tell people they're having technical issues.
It's very much like that.
That's very much. That's funny. I hear the guys clapping on the other side of the room here.
Yeah.
That is good.
We've created a monster because if you text into the Prairie Mobile text line, you will get me right in my hot hands. It's not going through a producer. It's not going through a wall,
no
firewall.
screeners.
It's coming to me.
You have got Rod.
From anonymous texter. Love all the new advertisers. Sounds great. And I want the Riders to bring back Gaynor's cousin Leonard with evil eyes.
Boy.
So much fun.
You know what? That's a good comment, actually, because you know what? I think people would be more accepting if Gaynor went to the old folks' home and we brought out a new gopher and we called him something new. Maybe it was no big deal.
You missed the show yesterday, didn't you? When Abu and Marshall were sitting here and they said they should, if they really wanted to do this, run over Gaynor at midfield.
Yes.
So he's at least dead.
To get the old
So we
car
can't
out?
talk about the old Gaynor.
We get out of 22.
But this isn't a new Gaynor. This is a guy that worked hard in the offseason.
Mark Johnston could get out there
That's
and
what
get
they're
the sight on,
selling it
get him in the
as.
sights.
And had a rough weekend.
That's still going on.
I think it
doesn't look like it's over yet.
The very first tweet, I think, might have been the funniest. It was from the PA Raiders business guy, Mike Sissons, who said, whoa, did Gaynor have a rough, long weekend?
You know what it
On
is?
that whole thing.
It was Gaynor, long weekend. He got run over by a lawnmower. And you go to
drunk
Cousin
references.
Eddie, and it's like, hey, you're up. And he's half asleep, and he's like, what?
Out of it.
Time to go?
Oh, I
okay. Put on a shirt.
Nationally trending.
It was number 4 nationally when I looked the other night. It was the number 4 nationally trending topic.
Wayne in Victoria writes into the program, hey, Rod, I miss seeing you on Facebook Live, but at least I can still hear the show on your website. Thanks. And I must say, don't thank me, thank Darren. This was all your concept. This was all your vision. There would be a Facebook Live show, but we would also be Listen Live. And then one day we'll go on terrestrial radio, and another day, we'll go on television as well. My dream would be, we had Dustin Nielsen on here earlier. I would love to be on TSN 1260 Edmonton. right after his show.
Yeah, great compliment to his show. And you know what's great, and what I had always told you, and you know, okay, Facebook has some problems, and we get a little bit frustrated, but that's why we're on the live stream. We're always ready, right? I mean, we're never going to have a situation here. What do I do? that you know we
do a cross.
That we just go up in flames. I mean, we've got systems in place for a reason.
Wouldn't that have been horrible? We got sponsors we need to appease,
and appease they shall be.
Which, by the way, Mrs. Rod Pedersen show is very happy over there at Capital with how this has been received on the Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision poll. What did I say? 83% of respondents saying Canada's game of the week is Calgary, Saskatchewan. It took until week 4 for the Rough Riders to be involved in Canada's game of the week, but this is the game this Saturday night at Mosaic Stadium.
So don't screw it up.
Who?
The Riders.
Mike tweeting into the show, Rod, you're not old, just experienced. # nose and ear hair.
Oh.
Which Mike is that?
Becky.
Mike Becky?
Yeah, skiwiz_500 on Twitter.
Just over the last
From
little
Davidson.
while, I've been thinking I'm old. Maybe I should get out of the business. My references are all old. Do people even know what I'm talking about? This has been bothering me.
What's your barometer say? What are the ladies in your house? Do they think you're old?
They say, Dad, you're stuck in the 80s. And I'm like, thank you.
That's a good thing.
Compliment.
Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, I don't see that as a bad thing.
Okay.
But when you stand there and have to stand in the mirror and shave your face, your ears, your eyebrows, it gets a little old. And it's not stopping.
That's why you keep Lynch around. Makes you feel
right, makes
youthful.
me feel young. So I appreciate that. I'm not fishing for compliments here. I maybe it's a midlife crisis. I don't know.
I thought Big Bird was
Yeah,
the midlife
Was the
crisis.
answer to that? But it didn't stop the ear hair from growing and the eyebrow hair.
I see you got valet parking again today.
I parked out in the field out front of the... Oh, there's a slip as to where we're broadcasting.
Oh!
I was...
There's a lot of field around
One
here.
of our great fans, Justin, who came up to the tailgate tent, and he asked me, he's like, so Dupes, where's the studio? Where's the studio? I said, Justin, if you want to visit the studio... I got to put a bag on your head. We'll drive around in circles for 45 minutes.
Beat him up a couple times.
In circles for 45 minutes. You won't know where you are, and then we'll drive you to the studio.
It's a bat cave.
That's how the Italians do it.
Yeah.
The Greeks, it's different. But that's a different way of doing it. You guys know that.
Yes.
Uncle Johnny was at the birthday party Saturday night. Uncle Johnny Athens.
We couldn't have had the party without John catering, and he was there the whole time. First one there, last one to leave.
Last text before we break. And by the way, Clark, I bumped the wrong button on the prompter, so I can't even see it. You'll have to come out here in the break. From anonymous texter, and I love the anonymous texters. We'll do this for a little while because it's fun. And then we'll ask for names, right?
All right.
Hey, Rod, just listening from the car. Love having Myers on the show.
Wow.
Does Darren have socks on today? Does it end in Y? Does today end in Y? Yes.
Sky blue, yeah.
Then he doesn't have socks on
I love
today.
that nobody wanted to attach their name to having me on the show.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.